Alright guys, welcome back to the BrutalDLX challenge. This is the final path of the hardest mode. I'm going to show you exactly who I brought on my team. The first fight, the first three fights I'm actually going to do with America Chavez. It is a rank 2 7-star, but she is just amazing, even unawakened here. The more buffs that Winter Soldier gets, the more damage we're going to be doing. The problem is on the top right hand side, he's got this pink charge. Anytime it ends, if he touches you, you are dead. And on the left hand side, you're going to have a gray timer on the top right, which is also going to give you some falter. He's got that blue shield now, which means he's extremely passive. When it's red, he's aggressive. And at one point here, I get a falter, so I got to back off, and I actually am going to get clipped for you right there, and you're going to see you instantly die. So you got to get into a good rhythm. I didn't die to him at all the entire run. Then I went to record this final path, and there you go. Maybe just recording it, I was, I want to get a perfect fight in there, and I mess it up. And I think I screw up a little bit here as well. But what I like to do here is, he's also got energy resistance. So my special 2, actually, if I go ahead and I try to launch it, he's just going to heal back all the damage, but the special 1 will do full damage. But here you can see I'm going to back off, but right there I go to dash in and I forget about the falter for a second. So you got to be there, like two things, you got to keep your eyes basically on both sides of the screen. There, when he throws that special 1, if you're still in the gray timer and you can counter before that falter is, then go for it. If that falter timer is just about to hit, then you have to back off and wait. And you just, again, every time he goes into that blue mode, he's going to be extra passive. I'll try and do like a hit into the block and try and, get him to throw his special 1. I don't really want to deal with the special 2. But you can see here, I back off. Now I've got falter. Now he's in the red mode. He's going to be aggressive again. But I'm going to back off. And again, he's not throwing it, so I'm just going to have to wait for that falter to disappear. And now again, the falter's back on. Got to be careful. And then I go back in and I start my rotation again. I know I've seen some guys using Ronin for this one because of so many buffs. Ronin can do a Ronin cheese where he stun locks them. But America Chavez, the more buffs the opponent has, the harder she's hitting. You can see like big 15k, 20k crits on those heavies. And that's what we want to see here. Again, falter, so I'm going to back off and wait a second. And we're almost done here. So again, I'm going to back off, see if he's going to throw that. Again, I'm faltered. If you time it perfectly where the falter is disappearing, you can attack back in. But there again, the falter is still there. So it can be very annoying. Having the passive AI there is very frustrating. But when you're hitting, look at what Chavez is doing, 21k heavy attack there, and down goes Winter Soldier. Next up is Juggernaut. Also, your specials can't do any damage on this one, but he's going to become debuff immune at the beginning, and you can knock that by knocking him down. So basically, all my medium and light attacks have 200% extra attack, but my heavies and specials pretty much my special attacks are going to do nothing. So there you can see like a nice 20k crit, 7k crit there. Now, there's a root timer, and there I kind of messed it up, but it shows you that if you have a special, you can get out of the root. Now, the root timer is the second one from the right above Juggernaut, and you just have to be careful that as you're attacking in and throwing those nice big heavy attacks here, like huge damage with America Chavez, when the root timer is about to expire, you want to move all the way to the left and let him get rooted. So here, I messed it up, but with America Chavez, even though the specials don't do anything, if you continuously cycle special 1s, then you're just going to continuously have power. You don't want to get stuck necessarily at a special 3, but you want to have power so that if you do accidentally get rooted, that you have a way. There, he's rooted on the right-hand side, but he has too much power, so I'm backing off, waiting for him to throw that special 2. There he goes, and I attack back in. So I want to have some power in case I get rooted, so I can quickly parry, use a special, get out of that root, because the root can be extremely annoying. There, he's close to being rooted, so I'm gonna back off again. See, he dashed in quick, I got rooted, but I had a special attack ready, and I was able to quickly get out of it. Now, again, he's gonna throw his special. Gotta be careful not to push him to a special 3, but other than that, it is very doable here with America Chavez. I just liked this team that I had going. There are lots of other counters I'm sure you could do for this guy, but again, you want to be someone who's going to hit hard with their regular attacks, not with their, again, here I threw the special 3 just to dump it. It's not going to do any damage, but I just needed to dump it so that I can continuously have power in case I do get rooted. That is what I am trying to do here, and it's working extremely well with Chavez. And even if I end with low health, then the next fight is Vision, and that is our opportunity to heal Chavez back up a little bit. So when you're doing these fights starting at path 1 all the way to path 6, even if you take a bit of damage in these first 2 fights, the third one should give you an opportunity to heal up, and I'll show you exactly that. So again, here also making use of the strikers are key on these fights, because it's just even though there's lots of like resistances or damage, like where damage can only be from certain hits, the strikers are always come in handy to get some extra damage in, and I'll show you exactly why later on, even on some trickier fights where you can't really do anything without, again, even fights that you can only, where your specials aren't going to be doing anything, the striker is still going to do damage. There, I get him rooted again, attack back in, and again, I didn't boost up at all for these, but I do. They are pretty high-level champions, but there I do get clipped one more time. But for the most part, I didn't really use many items. Maybe I got, I think, Scarlet Witch got me once on the second last path, and that Winter Soldier got me on the beginning of this path. But other than that, I didn't really use many revives. I don't think I used revives at all here. So, Vision, lots of power gain, power gain, power gain, power gain. You want to go full 3-hit heavy attack on with Chavez to get the negative zone. That's going to prevent him from gaining power. So I'm actually going to go to at least 3 of them before I start going. I'm going to counter after 1 hit, get the orange buff, and then I'm going to go again with a full one. And then once I'm at 2 bars of power, I'm going to interrupt after the second hit, drop my special 2, and I will get some healing from the Dark Dimension there. So that is a good way to gain some extra healing, but because he's got those prowess buffs, and the more buffs the opponent has, the harder Chavez is hitting. I'm hitting way too hard, and he's going to be down before I know it, and I'm not going to be able to get, I think, to another, maybe I can get, I'm not sure if I can get to one more special 2, a little bit of healing there, but he's down in 58 hits, super easy. Next is Scarlet Witch. I chose to use Hulkling specifically because you have to parry and charge your heavy attack in order to gain power, and you can't do any other damage other than specials. And if you critically hit Scarlet Witch, she is going to get an unblockable charge, and then her next hit is unblockable, even if it doesn't hit. The problem is, one of her abilities is that she power drains a lot, so I picked Hulkling specifically because he can't get power drained. I tried it with someone else. I think I tried it once with someone before I got my team ready together, and I couldn't get to a good special because she kept power draining. So here, I'm going to go ahead, let her turtle up now, and I'm going to try and get a few more prowess. You can see I get tons of prowess by charging my heavy attack, and it's the only way to gain power. So here I'm going to hit into the block, try and get this down in 1 special 2, only 1 crit, and she has 1% left, and I'd have to start building up to another special by parry and heavying, but instead I'm just going to attack in, use a striker, and there, I'm able to get the last bit of damage in. So Striker coming in clutch and saving me some time on that fight. Last, I had to figure out a way to get Doc Ock on my team, just for fun. And he doesn't really counter this Wolverine perfectly. I think a Warlock, I saw it working extremely well, because at Lionheart, you want to prevent his healing. He has the active regen. But if you just parry and hold your heavy attack, you will gain up to like 400 of these Furies. You're going to be hitting so hard. And also, Wolverine, his healing is always based on how many bars of power he has. If he has less power, then he's going to be gaining less healing. If he has more power, like up to 3 bars, like when you play Wolverine, you want to be at 3 bars of power in order to maximize your healing. But even though my heal block doesn't work, and my direct damage, it doesn't work from Doc Ock, but I am able to power lock him at certain points. Early on, when I was doing these fights, I actually waited till he had almost 0 power, hit into his block, triggered the power lock, went for a special 3, and then he was power locked for the entire rest of the fight. I just cycled special 1s, but that doesn't make use of the Furies that you can get by charging your heavy. Here, I'm just going to keep spamming heavy attacks and charging them to get all the way up to these 400 Furies, and then I'm just gonna hit into him as much as I can, and I'm basically just out damaging his regen. I'm also going to use the striker to get some extra damage in and some extra openings, and you're going to see like huge crits, and just completely out damage Wolverine the entire time. So this was just fun to go in and see how, after I tried this a few times, like on the first few paths, I'm like, oh, this is just going to work, and I'm just going to keep at it, and it was a way to get Doc Ock on the team, because he's one of my favorite champions, and it was a fun way to, to have the rank 5 Doc Ock go to work. So again, I'm just going to keep, you can see here, I am keeping him relatively low on power. The power drain is helping with that. Again, use that striker, 1 more heavy attack, and he's down. Now, I didn't do any of the other harder levels. Like, I only did the first quest of the easy one. So this is the first time I'm doing this Hulk. I decided to go with Valkyrie, specifically because even though there's Conflictor, Brute Force, she doesn't rely on debuffs, so I'm not worried about Conflictor. You don't want to parry this guy because he's got insane block penetration. So I wanted to be able, the main thing I wanted to, is when Hulk gets to 15 of his Furies, then he goes unstoppable. And as long as I think I sigged up Valkyrie enough that as long as she has 2 Pierce buffs, then I'm going to be able to ignore Unstoppable. So here with Brute Force, I can't just hit into his block the whole time. I have to get hits in, regular hits in, or else it would have been a lot easier. But the Brute Force, if you don't hit after a certain time, you're going to be taking degen damage, and we don't want to be doing that. And again, this is the first time I'm doing this fight, so I'm trying my best to throw in as many hits as we can here. You can see he's got the Gamma Rage, he's unstoppable, but we are completely ignoring it with Valkyrie. I do end up taking a tiny hit on the block there, and right there, that was the most annoying part. I went for a dash in, my input didn't work, and that kind of threw me for a loop there, and I had to get back into, get back. I went for a couple intercepts there just to get him back into a good rhythm where he's throwing. He was lucky, and he was nice enough to throw a bunch of heavies, but I need to get back into a rhythm where I'm baiting his special 1. And as long as, since his, his retuning or his buff, as long as you are aware, or as long as you can counter his unstoppable, his baiting his specials is still the same as usual. I'm very good at blocking or at evading his special 1 or special 2. There, unfortunately, I take another hit on the block, which we're trying desperately not to. And here, unfortunately, I'm taking that degen because of Brute Force while I waited for him to drop that special 2. Get some nice hit into the block, force him into another special 1. And this is going extremely well, but again, basically you take 1 hit on the block, or you take 1 hit when you're trying to dash back and it doesn't trigger, then you are kind of screwed. So this was, I thought, a really good attempt for my first time doing this one. I still will have to do this on my other account. Maybe I'll do it live, maybe not. It's extremely long and tedious. So I'll probably, maybe I'll do another video, but I'm probably still going to do Valkyrie again for the boss because she worked extremely well. I'm not sure if I'd go with the exact same team, but I was pretty happy with the team that I chose. There are lots of teams that you can go with. And there, I finally got hit by him trying to dash back. He clipped me, brought in a Hulkling, and Hulkling's just going to clean up the mess for me here. Again, I can actually get I get a nice little intercept there, and I can also get openings by hitting into the block and triggering the unblockable. So that's going to help me with brute force. So Hulkling also a pretty good option here, and he's done. So that's who I used. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and good luck to everybody. I will have to do all the rest of the paths in order to get the token, the token for that 7-star. Good luck to everybody. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.